The term colic and the medications that can sometimes come with it can be worrisome for some new parents. Stanford pediatrician Dr. Stephanie Hansen is here to explain why you shouldn't be worried during the period of purple crying. Dr. Hansen, thank you so much for joining us today. I guess, before when we were in break, I asked you, okay, I'm familiar with colic, and it kind of is a scary word for new parents, but I was not familiar with the period of purple crying. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, the period of purple crying is a kind of a newer description for the phenomenon that is colic. I think colic, like you said, is a word that strikes fear into hearts. It's really poorly understood. People don't really know what it is. The period of purple crying is a movement that's an attempt to help demystify it, explain to parents what should you expect in terms of normal behavior for a new baby.
How common is colic or the period of purple crying?
Extremely common, and I think you could really find it in most infants.
Okay, I know when my first baby, I did not have colic, but my second baby, I would say, was probably colicky, but I didn't want to admit it. Do you think that is something parents deal with sometimes?
I think there is a lot of guilt associated with it. You feel like if you have a fussy baby that you must be doing something wrong, when really that is not the case. This is a part of normal infant development.
And so you said the terms, the period of purple crying is something that's been around for a while. Because my baby, I feel like I just had her yesterday, but she's 7, and I hadn't heard this term. It doesn't necessarily mean tell your baby is purple in the face crying.
No, but oftentimes you can see that. And really what we're talking about is those periods of fussiness or even full-on crying where it looks like the baby's in pain or that they're suffering, and they're really difficult to console or even unconsolable.
So can you talk about the acronym, because that's where purple, or what purple stands for actually?
Yeah, I have to look at it. So the P is for the peak of crying. So it's in that first couple of months of life. You think about, from the age of about 4 weeks up to about 3 or 4 months of age. The U is unexpected. It seems like it happens at random. 1 minute the baby is interacting with you and playing, and then the next minute all of a sudden they're crying, and it seems like it happens out of the blue. R is resist soothing. You're rocking the baby, you're bouncing the baby, you're doing everything you can to console the baby, and yet they continue to cry. That pain-like face, this is where the purple comes in. So the face is scrunched up, they're so angry that their face turns red or purple, and they just really have that look of pain or discomfort on their face. L is long-lasting. No joke, hours. The baby could cry for hours, and that would not be unanticipated. And then E is in the evening. It's more common in the late afternoon or early evening. So, just when everyone else has come home for the day, then that baby starts to feel a little bit more flustered and irritable.
So what can you do?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing I want people to know is it's not your fault. This isn't something you did wrong. This is a part of infant development. And to really practice self-care during that time, because it can be absolutely overwhelming to have a fussy infant. So doing everything you can to help promote your own care during that time. In terms of how to help the baby, wearing the baby in a sling, swaddling the baby, using white noise. I've even had people turn on their vacuum cleaner to help provide that white noise.
Yep.
Yeah, just some bouncing and some rocking, and then just trying to be as calm as you can, a calming presence for the baby.
I'm going to get to calming presence, because it's so hard for mom to stay calm when the baby, it doesn't always just feel like hours. It can be hours, like you just said. Is the baby necessarily in pain or discomfort when she or he is crying?
No, really. I mean, obviously you should check for the things that could be causing discomfort in a baby. Are their clothes fitting properly? Is the temperature okay? Are they fed? Are they changed? If you've eliminated all of those things, really we don't think the baby is experiencing pain. This is kind of just a part of normal neurodevelopment.
So advice then for mom, mom or dad.
Mom or dad or any caregiver of the baby, because this can be frustrating for child care providers, this can be frustrating for older siblings. And I think really all of those stress management techniques that I'd recommend to any parent at any point during their child's life. So making sure that you're getting healthy, nutritious foods, eating regular meals, trying to get as much sleep as you can, and I know that's difficult during those early months of infancy. Being able to tag team either with your partner or another caregiver for the baby. There are times where you may need to just put the baby down and walk away if you're feeling frustrated or overwhelmed, and that's okay. It's not going to harm the baby, and it gives you a little bit of breathing room to calm and come back with that calming presence for the baby.
more common than you would think. A great conversation to have because it's so hard. You have a baby who's crying. Dr. Hansen, thank you so much for coming in today. Stay with us. Coming up next, a Cutting Edge is here to talk about what they have planned for the Blue Water Bash, and I bet it's going to be sparkly.